All right, can a Polaroid camera and a few RGB lights create professional looking boudoir portraits? Today we put into the test the Instax Evo Wide. Okay, so let's go over why I chose to use the Evo for these photos. So the Instax has a lot of sort of limitations because of the technology that's in it versus the technology that's in, today's top end cameras. So the Instax, of course, it is not very good with dynamic range and things like that. So it's more of a entry level. Well, I won't say entry level for Polaroid. I would say entry level for professional cameras. So because that's what I was using it as. I was using it as a professional camera. So I would say it's more towards the entry level. The issue with that was it tries to do everything in auto. So like if your subject is in a dark scene that you're trying to expose for the subject, it's gonna bump your ISO all the way up and try to slow down your shutter and all that type of stuff, even though you want to shoot it a certain way. It's gonna guess at what you're trying to achieve. So that's typically why I don't shoot anything in auto, but what can you do with an Instax? That's what I was playing with most of the time, just seeing where I could put the subject to where it would balance out the ISO and shutter and everything all together to create a pleasing image, to where it wouldn't just blow out the background or blow out the subject trying to expose for the background. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. So that was the hiccups that I was facing playing with the Instax, but I still, got over it, figured it out, created some dope shots, I think. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely gonna throw these on the screen so y'all can check them out. Because of course, the Evo is half digital. So I have the digitals so we can check those out. Okay, so for this boudoir shoot, I chose to use the Instax Evo. I thought it was a cool, something different. Not a lot of people use the Polaroid cameras for things professional, but I chose to do it to see how it would turn out. And in my opinion, it was dope. And for those type of scenes where you don't want to show everybody's imperfections and stuff like that, I believe that old school filmic look fit well, so it wasn't as technical advanced as today's stuff as far as sharpness and clarity and stuff like that. So I think that fit well, and it still gave that nostalgic look to kind of like old timey because it's a film camera. And yeah, I think it was dope to be able to shoot that and give the client, the Polaroid right then and there, during the shoot basically. So yeah, so that was definitely a dope shoot. Let's get into it. So the lighting breakdown was pretty much like I had 2 RGB lights and a bicolor light. So what we did was we tried to play around with some different colors just to see what came out cool in that scene. There was a lot of like dark tones like grays and blacks. So I thought, you know, maybe try some blue or something like that. But I didn't like how that looked. So we ended up going with pink, and pink looked good with the grays and everything. So that was the color choice. And then from there, I had to balance it out to where it didn't overpower the subject with too much color, because I didn't want it to look like it was an all pink shoot. I just wanted it to highlight what we were doing. So for that, of course, we had to, you know, turn down the lighting and stuff like that, because you don't have many options in camera to adjust too many things. Everything is pretty much auto as far as you know, your shutters and stuff like that. You can't really manually operate those type of things. You can play with your exposure compensation and stuff like that, but that's really about it as far as like what you have control over in camera, at least. So from there, we were balancing out the light, you know what I'm saying, placing it further away, turning the power levels down on the lights, angling them differently so that they hit the model the way I wanted to hit. Okay, so the Instax Evo Wide, I believe it is a 16 millimeter. I'm not 100% sure on that, but yeah, I'll throw it in there somewhere what the actual millimeters are. But I believe it's a 16 mil. So that makes everything ultra wide. So to avoid the warping on the corners and stuff like that, you still have to go far enough back to where your subject and everything that you actually want in image to be more in the center to avoid that outside warping. So that way, you know what I'm saying, when you crop in, everything looks good, you know what I'm saying, nothing is vignetted and all that type of stuff. So that's what I was doing to compensate for the ultra wide lens, because typically I wouldn't use an ultra wide lens for something shot like that. I would say more so for like landscapes and street photography and things like that with your, you know, those type of things. I would probably use for more ultra wide lens. But I think it definitely created a different aspect to where I don't shoot much though. So that was cool. Yeah, just playing around with that ultra wide lens definitely gave me a different perspective as far as what I could do differently from what I normally do. So everything doesn't look the same, you know, and nobody wants to have every photo looking like the next photo. So I definitely think that came out good with the colors on the model. You know what I'm saying? We had the lingerie, boudoir stuff going. So all of the light hitting her skin, it was dope. Yeah, y'all see. Okay, so that was a behind the scenes look at my shoot, my first shoot actually, with the Instax Evo Wide. So I think the only thing that I shot that I didn't quite, you know what I'm saying, nail was the up close and personal shots. So we was trying to do like compartmentalize different areas of the body, you know what I'm saying? I thought that would be like a cool close up type stuff to do, but it has a built-in flash, and I don't believe you can turn it off, but if you can, maybe I just haven't figured out how. So being that close with that flash up on the model, it blew things out. Of course, I can go in and edit and fix it or whatever, but that defeats the concept of the Polaroid camera. So that was the only thing that I felt like could have been done differently, or maybe I just haven't figured out how to do that properly with that camera. So I'm definitely gonna work on that. But overall, I think it was a dope shoot. I think the Polaroids came out dope. The model loved it. I loved it. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely gonna have more Polaroid shoots to come. If y'all like that, definitely let me know down in the comments. Y'all know what to do. Like, comment, share, subscribe. You know, I'm trying to get to that monetization before, you know, February hit. Y'all know about that. But yeah, until next time, peace.